very good afternoon, my dear students. I will be dealing with the short question answers from chapter number 6 from Hornbill, drama, written by Terence Rattigan. The name of the drama is the Browning version. So hereby I am about to share the screen. Okay, I hope Priyanka joined us right now. Good afternoon, Priyanka. Welcome to the class.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I hope the screen is visible to all of you. So let us move on with the proceedings. I will be discussing 11 question answers are here. Let's see how much I can discuss with you. So see, it is written the Browning version. In the next line it is written by Terence Rattigan. Terence Rattigan is actually the name of the dramatist. Okay, and now let me start with the proceedings. Look at the word limit being mentioned. Now 5 to 10 words you can increase, but don't make it very lengthy, because the most important thing that you have to follow in case of writing objective question answers, that express more in less possible words. Okay, that is something very important. Now look at the very first question. Why did Taplow stay back at school on the last day of his form? Now why Taplow stayed back? What is the reason? Form means you know that it is class, because there are some words that in general human perception they mean something else, but in the context of the drama they mean something else. Okay, that we all know that there are some words being incorporated here that in the context of the drama they mean differently. See, Taplow had come back to school to do extra work because of his illness, and he was being ordered to do this by Crocker Harris because he missed few of the classes of Crocker Harris. See, he had missed a day the previous week, so Crocker Harris had called him to pay for it and make up for the loss. So it was an order given by Crocker Harris that yes, you have to pay for it and ultimately you have to make up for the loss. Now this is the next question. I hope the first question is very much clear, because Crocker Harris was in a different league of his own. You all know about him that he was a genuine teacher. Okay, then you all know that he was duty conscious, he was work conscious, he gave more importance to his duty, to his profession as a teacher. He takes teaching profession seriously, he takes the academic performance of the students very seriously, and that was the reason that he was in a different league of his own. And the casual minded teachers who are very much eager to indulge in cheap conversation, who are very much eager to gain cheap popularity among the pupils or among the students, like Frank and the others, they are very much envious of Crocker Harris. Why? Despite they do a lot for the students, giving out the results in advance, confidential information sharing with the students that a teacher should not do, but Frank and the others, they do it. Why? Because they wanted to be popular, they wanted to gain cheap popularity among the pupils. But ultimately it seems that who actually becomes the triumphant one? It was the Crocker Harris. It was Crocker Harris, because the students, they admire him, they love him, they respect him, and most importantly they love his strict attitude, they love his strict mentality. Okay, now before I move on to the next one, before I scroll it to question number 2, I hope there is someone on the line. Let me allow. Yes, I guess Audrija joined us right now. Audrija, a very good afternoon. Welcome to the class. I hope I am audible and visible also to you, and I hope the content is also visible.
Sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let me move on. Again, another important question that I am doing right now. Who are the two teacher characters in the play? Okay, one teacher character is definitely Frank Hunter, or rather to say Frank, the newly recruited science teacher, and another one is Mr. Crocker Harris. We don't find any dialogue as been prescribed in our NCERT syllabus. We don't find any dialogue of Crocker Harris, yet he is a very important character, yet he is present every time, because we get to know about him from the casual conversation That was between Frank and Taplow. See, the two teachers are Mr. Crocker Harris and Frank. Crocker Harris teaches the Latin language, the Greek literature, the Latin literature and language. That means Crocker Harris was actually a classical literature teacher, while Frank teaches science. And most importantly, Crocker Harris takes his profession seriously, while Frank never takes his profession seriously at all. Even when Taplow, you all remembered, I hope so, that even Taplow, when he was genuinely interested in pursuing science, okay, in his higher studies, Frank was the one who literally was discouraging Taplow. Okay, see, Crocker Harris is middle-aged and strict. Frank is a young science teacher, and most importantly, he is having a clandestine love affair, or we can say an illicit love affair with Crocker Harris's wife by the name of Millie Crocker Harris. Okay, the students are scared of Crocker Harris. Frank wonders how Crocker Harris had managed to overawe the students, because see, Crocker Harris's presence was like an enigmatic presence. Crocker Harris was like an enigma. Okay, his presence was like an enigmatic presence. He never used any sort of physical violence as such. Only he used to scold the students. His presence is enough. And the students, despite his strict mentality, let me say you, the students do love him a lot, do respect him a lot. And Frank and the other teachers, they are envious of him, because they try many things. Okay, they try a lot, even using many unfair means also. Okay, circulating official confidential information with the students in order to be popular. But ultimately, who is at the topmost popularity chart? It was none other than the classical literature teacher by the name of Crocker Harris. And that is the reason Frank even told very candidly to Taplow that he, along with the other teachers, they are envious of Crocker Harris because of all this reason. Okay, so now I am moving on to the third question. Is there any queries, dear students, up to this? If you have any queries, please don't hesitate. Please let me listen to your queries. Is there any doubt up to this? Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so now let me move on to the third question. See, Taplow has a grudge. Grudge means he was a bit angry, he was a bit unhappy also. So Taplow has a grudge against his Latin master. And Latin master, or you can say the teacher who is to teach the classical literature. Now, Greek and Latin both are within classical literature genre. Okay. Now, Crocker Harris. Now, what sort of a grudge? And why Taplow had a grudge? Do remember one thing, since the drama been already done, so you know it very well that Taplow had a soft corner for Crocker Harris. But despite having a soft corner, he do criticize Crocker Harris, but never ever he told Frank that Crocker Harris was a sadist. He vehemently protested when Frank told Taplow that is your teacher are sadist. But no, Crocker Harris was not a sadist. Okay, and what is the meaning of a sadist? I hope you all know. A person who enjoys inflicting pain on others. And that is the reason Taplow admitted that Crocker Harris might be strict, but he was not a sadist at all. Okay, so see this. Taplow is a young boy in the 5th form. He loves to play golf on a fine day, but he dare not disobey Mr. Crocker Harris, who had called him to school a day before the results were to be declared. Remember, the other teachers would have immediately given him the promotion, but the same thing will not work for Crocker Harris, because Crocker Harris, he was in a different league of his own. And most importantly, dear students, we get to know that he was a very tough character, a tough nut to crack. Crocker Harris's character is like a tough nut to crack. Okay, see, Taplow is made to do extra work to make up for his absence one day the previous week. His promotion is to be decided by Crocker Harris. Crocker Harris will have the final say. Crocker Harris's grade or mark is very important for the overall grading system of Taplaw's result, and obviously related with Taplaw's promotion also. Okay, Taplaw's grudge is that Crocker Harris is over strict and even inhuman. Now see, if anyone wants to know about a school, if anyone wants to know about the mentality of the teachers, it is better to ask the students, because the students are the better judges or judge of the characters and mentality of the teachers. Now what Taplow is saying, that Crocker Harris is over strict and even inhuman. That is the reason there is a line, and here I quote, the man's hardly human. Okay, that was being told by none other than Taplow. But despite all this negativity, or despite all this negative criticism, Taplow do love Crocker Harris a lot. Okay, he does not give the boy any assurance about his promotion in spite of calling him to do extra work. Now there is no assurance that okay, you come and you submit me the extra work, you will be promoted, because Crocker, it is very difficult to academically impress a duty conscious, serious minded teacher who always looked after the welfare of the pupils by the name of Crocker Harris. Very difficult to actually please him, very difficult to impress him. Okay, so I hope question number 3 is also clear to all of you. Is there any doubt? Any sort of queries you can ask me. It is clear. Shall I move on to the next one? Question number 4. Okay then. Since I hope that you all are quiet, I hope that question number 3 is clear to all of you. Is it clear to all of you, the class? Yes. Okay, fine. Now I am moving on. This is another important question. How does Taplow make fun of his teacher? Why he makes fun of his teacher? Who encourages him to ridicule Mr. Crocker Harris? Now see, 3 questions are being given side by side. Okay, who encourages? Very easy. It was the newly recruited flamboyant but very casual minded science teacher who was actually having a clandestine love affair with Crocker Harris's wife. He was the one who instigated Taplow to make fun of Crocker Harris. He could have scolded Taplow. He did scold Taplow, but most importantly, he haven't scolded Taplow genuinely. He haven't genuinely scolded Taplow. Deep inside, he was enjoying the show, that his senior colleague was getting harassed, because he did envy Crocker Harris, because Crocker Harris teaching class control was superb, and Crocker Harris within the entire school premises, within the school, his presence was like a magnetic presence. His presence was like an enigmatic presence. Okay, so let me move on. See, Taplow is a young boy studying in the 5th form. His final result is yet to be announced the next day. We know the next day the results will be declared. The other friends of Taplow, they already got their result and they are very happy because they already got the confidential information, but Taplow haven't. Why? Because unfortunately or fortunately for Taplow, Crocker Harris is the class teacher, and that is the reason Crocker Harris haven't declared the result, because it will be declared by him after the headmaster will announce it, because Crocker Harris goes by the norms, by the rules and regulations, unlike the other teachers. Okay, see, he asks Mr. Crocker Harris about his chances for promotion, but Crocker Harris gives him a vague answer, and this one later he narrated to Mr. Frank also. Okay, because Crocker Harris gave a very tricky answer, or rather to say, Crocker Harris gave a very vague answer. He tells the boy that he would get what he deserves, no less and certainly no more. Okay, he tells the boy that I have given you exactly what you deserve, no less and certainly no more. Moreover, Mr. Crocker Harris has called Taplow to do extra work even on the last day of school. Okay, other teachers would have considered him and would have instantly promoted him looking at his seriousness, because remember, Taplow was indeed a very serious student, but the teacher was equally serious, and that was the reason Taplow was a bit nervous, Taplow was a bit anxious and stressed also, because he was totally unaware about his result, unaware about his promotion. See, this irritates the boy and he makes fun of his teacher in front of Mr. Frank, and that is the reason Taplow is very irritated. And that is the reason, despite he used to love, respect, and he had a soft corner for Crocker Harris, despite that, when he got a slightest opportunity, he went on mocking or criticizing, doing a bit of mimicry of Crocker Harris in front of Mr. Frank. But instantly he seek apology from Mr. Frank by saying that probably he had gone too far. He shouldn't have said all this. That shows that Taplow had a good character. Okay, that shows that he was good at heart and he was never interested to dishonor his teacher at all. Okay, see, Taplow is encouraged by Frank to mimic Crocker Harris's voice and repeat his words. This is how he tries to hit back at the teacher. And how he decided to hit back? Obviously by repeating the voice of Crocker Harris. Okay, and obviously Frank enjoyed it and he provoked or instigated Taplow to do the impersonation work or mimicry of Crocker Harris once again. Okay, now I hope up to this it is very clear to all of you. So I am moving on to question number 5 now. Another very important question, dear students. See, Taplow says that Crocker Harris is hardly human. What makes him say that? What was the reason that Taplow was so much critical regarding Crocker Harris by saying that the man's hardly human? What makes him to say that? What was the reason behind it? Okay, so let us move on. Yes, see, Taplow is a little outspoken boy. He speaks out his mind honestly. Remember, that is the reason. And he had huge amount of love and respect for Crocker Harris. But he is a young school student. He gets irritated. It can happen. Young boy, okay, this is quite normal. Okay, to get irritated is quite normal. And he did get irritated, but he vehemently protested by saying to Frank that Crocker Harris isn't a sadist. We all know this. He was narrating an incident what happened one day in the class, or rather to say one day in the form. See, Mr. Crocker Harris told a Latin joke in the class and no one laughed at it because not a single student understood it, including Taplow. Still, Taplow laughed out of politeness, but then his teacher asked him to explain the joke. This makes Taplow feel that he is hardly human. Now, we don't know exactly what exactly happened with Taplow when Crocker Harris actually told him that inside the whole class, you understood my joke. Could you please share your experience of whatever you have understood related to with the joke with the other students in the class? Now, exactly what happened? What was the what incident happened after that, we don't know, because if you have read the text very carefully, you know that the conversation, the casual conversation that started few minutes ago between Frank and Taplow, it was interrupted by the arrival of another character, and that character was none other than the wife of Crocker Harris by the name of Millie Crocker Harris. Okay, now I am moving on to the next question, question number 6. See, how does Frank read Taplow's motive behind doing extra work? Now, what was the motive? Now, Taplow's real motive was that Taplow knew it very well that Crocker Harris is a tough nut to crack, and it won't be possible. It won't be possible for Taplow to know his result, to know his marks. At least by impressing Crocker Harris, by showing him extra work, at least he can look at his body language, and by that he can get an idea, positive idea or feedback that yes, I did well. That was his real intention. Remember, Taplow was very much eager to academically impress Crocker Harris. See, Frank is a science teacher who knows well the nature of his colleague, that how Crocker Harris was. Everyone, not only Frank, the other teachers also, they know the mentality of Crocker Harris. Exceptional teacher, very serious, not casual and carefree like Frank and the others. Okay. He does not approve of Crocker Harris's step to call a boy to do extra work on the last day of school. Now, this is something Frank also got a bit surprised that tomorrow the results will be declared, and obviously he is now near the house of Crocker Harris about to show the pending assignment work. That is a logical thing that that is not considered by Frank as a logical thing. He points out that Taplow can now hope to get his promotion through doing extra work. That is the reason Frank told that you are very serious. Even when the results will be declared the very next day, you came to show your extra work. That means you are genuinely a serious student. But Taplow actually reassured him that his whatever he had already thought, it is not right, because this thing can be applied in respect to other teachers but not related with the Mr. Crocker Harris, because he is a tough nut to crack, and most importantly he is in a different league of his own. Okay, now I am moving on to the next one. See what is meant by remove in English schools. Normally, as I told you, there are many words are being incorporated in this drama as been prescribed in our NCERT syllabus. One such word is remove. If I say to you what is remove, you might be thinking that to remove something, but here in the context of the drama, the same word, okay, it means something else. Remove actually means promotion. See, remove means promotion to the higher class, much dependent on the rating given by Crocker Harris to Taplow. So the boy is nervous and afraid about his result. Now this is something very important, because much depend on the rating given by Crocker Harris to Taplow. So the boy is nervous and obviously afraid about his result, because unlike his friends who belong to the other forms or who belong to the other classes, they received their result, but Taplow haven't. So he was anxious about his remove. He was pretty worried about his promotion despite being a serious student. But unfortunately for him, his class teacher, the one who is in authority of declaring the remove or whether he get a promotion or not, the result is none other than the Mr. Crocker Harris. Okay, I will be explaining two more questions, so please follow. I am moving on to question number 8 now. See, how does Taplow recount? Recount means recollect. Okay, the incident of Crocker Harris's joke in the class. See, one day Mr. Crocker Harris told a Latin joke in the class, and as you know, his teaching was very standard, high standard we can say, and sometimes he incorporates a lot of Latin words, a lot of Greek words in the form of his lecture, that sometimes the students, they get enlightened, at the same time they get equally confused also. So a serious minded teacher by the name of Crocker Harris once uttered a joke in the class. And remember, Crocker Harris's jokes are also high level jokes. So no one understood. So no one laughed. Now Taplow had a soft corner related with Crocker Harris. He thought that sir might have felt irritated or might have felt unhappy. So out of common human politeness, he laughed. See, Crocker Harris cornered him because he thought that the rest of the class haven't. He understood. First of all, he praised him for making improvement in classical literature, and then he told him that whether he could actually discuss the joke with the other his friends in the class. See, he asked Taplow to explain the joke to the other boys. That was Crocker Harris's way of dealing with the boys. He did not like it even if someone tried to help him. Okay, see, because he was self-independent every time and very much self-critical about himself. So just imagine whether what he will feel like when someone will cheat him. Okay, because here Taplow was eager to do that only, but we don't know that what exactly happened in the form that day after this incident, because that we never get to know, and that is not mentioned in the text also, because as I told few minutes earlier, the conversation that was going on between Frank and Taplow, it was interrupted by the minor character by the name of Millie Crocker Harris. So we don't know that what exactly happened with Taplow after this. Okay, one more question before I end the class. What does Taplow think of Crocker Harris? That means, what according to Taplow was the nature of Crocker Harris? That means you have to analyze the character of a teacher as from the eyes of a student. Okay, so let us come to the answer C. Taplow, the fifth form boy, is a good judge of persons, especially his teacher. That is the reason, if you want to know about a school, if you want to know about the mentality of the teachers, the better people to make you understand it, and the better people to give you information are none other than the students. They are the right person to give the right information about the teachers. And see, he ridicules Crocker Harris. Despite having high respect for Crocker Harris, he did ridicule Crocker Harris, and he calls Crocker Harris the man's hardly human. He mocks his master by impersonating his mannerisms, by mimicking his voice, mannerisms, behavior. We all know it. He is mortally afraid of Crocker Harris. He dare not disobey or go against the wishes of Crocker Harris. Never ever he did that, nor any other students also. But at the same time, he has a word of praise as well for his teacher. He tells Frank that Crocker Harris never beats a boy. That means physically never molest anyone, and that is the reason he vehemently opposed when Frank told that whether his teacher was a sadist or not, because he told that Crocker Harris was not a sadist. See, it is written, and hereby this highlighted portion is very important, dear students. See, he tells Frank that Crocker Harris never beats a boy, although he shriveled up like a nut at heart. That means he was a tough nut to crack, very tough character. But despite this negativity, Crocker Harris is not a sadist at all. Like one or two other teachers who got pleasure out of giving pain, but Crocker Harris was never like that. Crocker Harris's drawback was that he hated it even when people tried to like him. Now, because Crocker Harris was very strict, a very strict teacher, and he hated people to like him, and the other students, they do like him despite he was a very strict character. Okay, Taplow finally tells Frank that in spite of all this, he did like Crocker Harris better than other teacher. This I already referred at the very beginning of the class. In somewhere down the line in the course of my lecture today itself, that Taplow had a soft corner in his heart for Crocker Harris, and see, this line actually justifies it. See, Taplow finally tells Frank that in spite of all this, he did like Crocker Harris better than the other teachers. In spite of all these things, in spite of all this negativity, Crocker Harris was liked not only by Taplow but by other students. They do like him, and despite he is very serious. Okay, he is too serious, but despite that he is adored, he is admired, revered and respected by the community of the students. And that is the reason, despite Frank and the others, in order to gain popularity among the cheap popularity among the students, they fail at the very end. We do feel like the students, they are the better judges of the teachers. They do all love and respect Crocker Harris, and this last line is very significant, where Taplow is saying that Taplow finally tells Frank that in spite of all this, he did like Crocker Harris. That means in spite of all this mimicry, in spite of all this impersonation, he did like Crocker Harris better than other teachers. Okay, so with that I like to end my class. I hope up to this it is very much clear to you. Is there any doubt, dear students, at the back of your mind? Is there any doubt related with these 9 questions that I discussed out of 11 short questions in front of you? Is there any doubt, dear students? Have you all understood? Okay. Thank you everyone, and see you all tomorrow. Take care everyone, stay safe. Okay, and see you again tomorrow. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you.